I'm sick, but yapping about video games makes me feel better.
There are two kinds of Twisted Wonderland players in the fandom. There are players who play the Japanese server, and players who play their localized version of the game. Let's say it's English for now. Now, of course, what that actually means is that there are two kinds of players. Players who know what's going on, and players who don't, and are thus susceptible to spoilers. Now, if you watch anime, you're used to this. You know the routine. Obviously, the original version, aka the Japanese version, is going to be updated first, and translating and localizing is not an easy thing. It takes time. It takes professionals. Like, this is a job. But what this means is that the Japanese server is always going to be further ahead along in not only events, not only cards, but the main story content than the English server. Now, unfortunately, YouTube doesn't know or care which server you're in. So if you look up stuff from Twisted Wonderland, they're gonna give you stuff no matter how recent it is. Which means if you're like me, you're susceptible to spoilers. Uh-oh.
Oh, cannoli. If you don't want to be spoiled, why don't you just play the Japanese server? Or better yet, watch someone who does.
Well, that's an awesome idea, and I would if I could. But two things to know about me. I am stubborn, and I am paranoid. Also, I don't know how to get on the Japanese server. Like, I've tried. Can y'all tell me how you're doing this? And on top of that, I can never really forgive myself for watching someone playing a video game that I have full access to. Like, I'd look back and be like, all I had to do was wait. And I couldn't even do that. So that's the stubborn part. Again, with the paranoid part, if I start watching stuff on YouTube again, YouTube's gonna be like 15 steps ahead of me and be like, oh, would you like to see some cards? Some limited edition cards that are only in the Japanese server that have flippin' spoilers as side stories? Like, no, I don't. But I can't tell them that. And so, I sit here, safe behind these windows and these parapets of stone from the spoilers YouTube wants to show me. I dwell upon the fandom sitting in my room alone, knowing them as they will never know me. But then, one day, I thought, you know what? It's the holidays. The holidays are coming, and I'm sure I can make a Twisted Wonderland video that doesn't involve spoilers, and so I won't attract any either. And you know what? I really like certain parts of this game that I think other people don't talk about a lot. So why not I talk about them? I mean, they're not spoiler heavy or anything. So today, I will be talking about something that matters very little to the plot, and really only matters to like 2 characters, and one is like not even that developed, but you know what? I like it. And maybe you will too. So, here we go. I'm going to talk about my favorite series in the Twisted Wonderland guest room, the Winter Garden series. I'm going to go through each item of the series one by one, explaining what I think is going on with them and why I like them so much. Happy holidays, and thank you for watching. So basic stuff out of the way first. The Winter Garden lamppost, the lamppost to illuminate Snow Yard. Not much going on there, but I like how there's a little snowflake there. Small Winter Garden tree, again, not much there, but I do like the little snowflake, and it looks like there's a little ribbon. I wonder who put that there. Alright, now for the more interesting stuff, like the bench, the igloo, the snowman, the tree, is where all the story bits come into play. Winter Garden lower foreground 2. Description. A foreground based on Ramshackle Dorm's fence after it was decorated by Ewan Grimm. And we also have a tree decorated by Ewan Grimm, an igloo built by Ewan Grimm, a flippin' snowman made to look like Grimm. That's adorable and extremely egotistical of him. This is literally so wholesome. Okay, let me explain why I'm losing my mind over this. Alright. In the context of Twisted Wonderland, you, the main character, are transported to another world and can't find your way back home. That's the entire premise of the game, and most of it is just you dealing with that while shenanigans ensue at Night Raven College. During book 4, the winter holidays start rolling around, and so kids are being dismissed, to go back home for winter break to spend the holidays with their families. But not you. No, you have to watch your friends go home because you can't go home. The headmaid still hasn't figured out how to send you home, so you can't leave. You gotta stay in the school. So you can't go back to their family. But Grimm doesn't even have a family to go back to. If you ask him about what his family's like, he'll tell you that he doesn't remember them, and that he remembers waking up hungry and alone, and that for ages he waited for someone to come get him, and they just never came. Now, I have some theories about this conversation, but for now, let's just take him at his word. Neither you nor Grimm have the ability to go see their families during the winter holiday, but they do have each other. They also have the ghosts of Ramshackle Dorm, who offer to stay with them for the holidays and have a big winter feast. They're all a very strange kind of found family, but I appreciate them anyway. The ghosts, who remember initially just kind of pranked and messed with them for fun, are now offering to stay with them during the holidays because they know that you and Grimm don't have families to go back to. Well, not in this world anyway. In my opinion, you doesn't get nearly enough, story time, which is intentional, but I like how there's an entire set for the guest room dedicated to their relationship with the ghost and with Grimm. It's so sweet. I mean, there's a festive winter set too, but it doesn't specifically say you or Grimm had anything to do with it. It's listed as Night Haven College, but it doesn't give any details about, Ramshackle Dorm or anything. The Winter Garden set is explicitly about you, Grimm, and the 3 ghosts who look after them. And you know what? Call this a hot take, but I think that's the most underrated relationship in this entire game. And for a while, I thought that whoever left this gift on the bench must have been a classmate like Ace, or maybe more likely Malleus. But thinking about it now, I think the answer was a little closer than it seemed. Whatever holidays you may be celebrating soon, spend it with your family, whether that be your roommates, or your friends, or even your cat. Remember, it's the thought that counts. Thank you for watching. Also, kinda crazy that 3 dead guys are a better dad than Crowley.